So task one tells us, let me move my head. So task one tells us that Lion is making this toolbox shown. So let's list out the dimensions that we know. So we know the length here is 6.8 and our width going backwards is 3.4. And then the height from bottom to top is 2.3. So now we want to plug in our dimensions into our formula. So we don't know the volume, so we're looking for the volume when the length is 6.8, and then we'll times the width of 3.4 and times the height of 2.3. So we're going to start and do 6.8 times 3.4. So go ahead and try that part. So don't forget to move your decimals. And then, so pause the video and do that and come back and check. So 8 times 4 is 32, 24, 25, 26, 27. I'm going to cross this off and put my placeholder. 3 times 8 is 24. 6 times 3 is 18, 19, 20. So we add these up. 2 and 11, 3 and 2. And I have 1, 2 decimal places. So moving it 1, 2 decimal places. So 6, this is almost practically 7. And here's about 3.5. 7 times 3 is 21. So it should be a little bit more than 21, which is what we have. So now we have 23.12, and we need to multiply that by 2.3. So when we multiply decimals, we do not need to line them up. We just count and move them over when we are finished. So go ahead and pause and try that problem and then come back and check. So 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 2 is 6. So I don't have anything to cross off. So I'm going to put my placeholder. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2, 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. And 2 times 2 is 4. So we're going to add these up. Got 6, 7, there's 11, 12, 13, and 5. So I have 1, 2, 3 decimal places. So I need to move my decimal 1, 2, 3. So we end with 53.176, and these are inches cubed. So make sure we get that label to show that it's volume. That's what fits inside of that toolbox. So now he wants to paint his toolbox. So he knows how much he can fit inside. So now he wants to paint the outside of the toolbox. So that means we need to find the surface area. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the front dimensions. So we've got this rectangle here. So we've got this rectangle that's dimensions are 6.8 and 2.3. And we have that front and the back. So we've got 2 of those. So we're going to do length times height, or base times height, and we have 2 of those. Now let's look at our sides here. So the height is still 2.3, and our width is 3.4, and we have 2 of those. And now we need to find the top piece here. So its length is 6.8. And then it goes back 3.4. And we have 2 of those. So our formula is we have 2 of everything. We have 2 of 6.8 times 2.3. And we're going to add on, plus we have, I didn't mean to put that parenthesis there. So, and we have 3.4 times 2.3, and we have 6.8 times 3.4. So we have each of those sides. So we're going to find the front, the side, the back, or the top. So we found each of the sides, added them together, and then we're going to double it, is how you would write that formula out. Or you can just do it piece by piece. Find this one times by 2. Find this one times by 2. Find this one times by 2. So now we need to do all of that work here. So there was one number we did. What did we do? 6.8 times 3.4 is 23.12. So let's save ourselves some work. So 6.8 times 3.4 was 23.12 for one of those. So we found the bottom. So when we found the volume, we found the bottom, the base, and then we found how many layers of that we had. When we're finding the surface area, we're not stacking that same thing over and over. We're finding each different side. So we need to double 23 point, so this one, let's see, was right here. So 23.12 is 6.8 times 3.4. So we need to double this. So go ahead and multiply that by 2. Is 4, 2, 6, and 4 with 2 decimal places. So this one here is 46.24 for this was the red one, the top and the bottom. So let's try our front one here, 6.8 times 2.3. So 6.8 times 2.3. So go ahead and try that. Pause the video and come back when you're ready to check this part. So 8 times 3 is 24. And 18, 19, 20. And we've got a placeholder. Going to cross this off. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 6 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. So we're going to add these together. 4, 6, 5, and 1. 2 decimals. So this is close to 7 and 2. 7 times 2 is 14. But we have a little bit more, so that makes sense. It's a little bit more than 14. So, but remember, we actually have 2 of these. So that was just the front. Now we need to find the back as well. So we're going to times by 2 is 8 and 12. Here's 10, 11. 2 plus 1 is 3. So the top and bottom together. Here's the front and the back together. So now we just need to find these sides together. So go ahead and find one of the sides, base times height, and do that part there. So 4 times 3 is 12, 9, 10, placeholder, 2 times 4 is 8, and 6, adding those up, we get 7.82 because I have 2 decimal places. And 3 times 2 is 6, but they're a little bit more, so that makes sense. It's a little bit more than 6. That's just for one side. Now we need to find the other side. So let's go ahead and find that other one here. So timesing by 2 is 4. 16, 14 plus 1 is 15, 2 decimal places, 15.64. So we found all 6 sides. Now we just need to put them together. So we want to add all of these up. So 31.28, 46.24, and 15.64. And because we're adding, we do want to make sure all of our decimals and places are lined up. So here's 8, and 8 makes 16. Here's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Drop my decimal down. Here's 11, 12, 13, and 4, and 4 makes 8, and one more is 9. So our surface area is 93.16 inches squared because we could unfold that flat. We're just finding 2 dimensions at a time. So even though, yes, we found all of the different pieces, at a time we only used 2 of them. 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. So now it asks, if one tube of paint covers 40 square inches, how many tubes should he buy? So I'm just going to make myself a little chart here for tubes, and this is how much it covers. So one tube will cover 40. We can see that's not enough. If I have 2 tubes, 2 times 40 is 80. Still not enough. And do you think if you go to the store and they'll just say like, "Oh, yeah, you can cut that tube in half and just take what you want?" No, they're probably not going to do that. So if we buy 3 tubes, 40, 80, 120, yes, you'll have some extra, but it's always nice to have a little extra just in case. But if he only buys 2, he's not going to cover all of the surfaces. So he's got to make sure he buys enough to cover everything. So he'll need to buy 3 tubes and have some left over. So go ahead and use all of that information and complete task 1